Can I tell you something? In this lifetime, I'm 52 years old. But I tell people, I lie about my age. I tell them I'm 11 trillion and 7 years old. I'm actually one of the oldest souls in the universe. I've been reincarnated a whole lot of times. But you know, I lie about my age. I tell them I'm 11 trillion and 7. Well, I took a year off that. I'm actually 11 trillion and 8 years old. But geez, a man's got to have a year now and then. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I'm an old soul. I've been around lots of times. Well, here's a great secret. So have you. Yep. You see, it goes like this. I'm being silly with the sort of the bad stereotypical Italian accent. I know, I'm Italian, but I was just being kind of a brat. But it goes like this. You know, a lot of souls are reincarnated consistently. And others go to heaven or paradise or whatever. I think Van Halla or something like that. Different names, same place. And you can actually go to heaven for an eternity. But I like being in incarnations of humanity. You know what I mean? I've been a few other things, but we won't go into that because you might get a little bit freaked out. But at any rate, I know that a lot of you are going to listen to this and you're going to think that I'm joking. You're going to think I'm cuckoo, but I'm not. No, in fact, I can kind of almost prove it to you. Have you ever felt like in your life when you go to a place that you've been there before, or suddenly you have a skill set that you have no understanding as to why you have it or never knew you had it? Or you felt like you've been a person before? Well, guess what? All of those things happened to you. Yeah? You lived before. Mm-hmm. I'm one of the oldest souls around, and I don't know why I got that lucky part, but I did. But all of us are very old people. Even the youngest baby, even the brand new baby that just got born just now, very old. You see, because God, or the Creator, doesn't throw anything away. And you were here for a reason all those times, and you're here for a reason now. So what I want to share with you is that in every incarnation, whether you're a cat, a human being, a dog, a rabbit, a roach, whatever you are, you have a purpose. Yeah, believe it or not, you do. Now, those of you who are human beings, I'm going to share something with you. You need to believe that there is a higher power. I didn't say any particular way, but you need to believe it only because your spirit already knows it. And actually, there are really no atheists in this universe, and there are no agnostics. Our bodies and our brains may let us think we are agnostic, may let us think that we are atheist, but none of us can be atheists, you see, because God, or the Creator, created the universe. And even scientists will tell you that every life on Earth, every human life, or any life at all, is actually created from elements in the universe. And God created that universe, the higher power, the whatever you want to call it, scientifically or religiously. You're part of the universe. You're part of God. That all being said, when I say I'm one of the oldest souls in the universe, I'm not kidding. I know how bizarre that sounds. But you might wonder, well, why have I come back so many times? In so many different incarnations. And why, if I'm that old and that experienced, would I be in a condition like this house? Dirtied up, in bad shape. Well, me, the human being, can't answer that per se. Me, Albert Torcaso, the spirit, can give you a reasoning behind it. The reason why we are where we are in life, wherever we are, is because there's something in our spirit that wants to experience what it's like. And unfortunately, sometimes our spirits get confused because of our mind and our subconscious. And what happens is, once we want to leave that situation, even in our human form, we're so confused that we may never get out of it. That's why there's so many poor people on this planet. But if we start to really get to remember who we are, spiritually also, metaphysically, scientifically, whatever way you want to put it, then we start reaching and evolving into something that we truly are. You know, it's been said that we have God-like powers. And that's true. God gave us these God-like powers. Now, we're not like God. Not really. I mean, there are parts of us that are. Truly, there are. But at the same time, God is the ultimate creator, the ultimate decider, if you will. Now, you might say to yourself, how can this guy know this? And how does he even have the arrogance to think he knows this? Nobody on earth has ever said these things, or don't know for sure. Well, I'm going to challenge each and every one of you, all 7 billion plus that ever see this. You do know the truth, and you know that I'm right. You see, you as a human, in human form, may not know, but your spirit knows. That's why we have documented proof of things like UFOs and ghosts and or demons and or spirits. It's all over the place now, right? Do you know why? Because we are starting, some of us, a lot of us really, are starting to remember who we really are. And we really are a child of a universal creator. Why is that so important? Well, because once we know who we are, we also have to start to evolve internally and spiritually and mentally to not have this hatred. You know, I've been doing a lot of things on the election. I'm sure that people that support Hillary or Trump or anybody, they know. But I bet nobody ever asked you or never stopped to think, why am I so against Trump being in office? Bet people think that I'm against him, but I'm not. His actions, yeah. But deep down, even Donald Trump, actually, you're not going to believe this when I tell you. Sometimes I don't even believe I'm about to say this. But really deep down, spiritually, Trump is not a bad person. He's been corrupted. He's lost his way spiritually and mentally in some ways. But he's actually not a bad guy. Now, all the bad things that he's done comes from arrogance and comes from, frankly, people treat him like he's God. And I've had some experiences where I've been put in place in situations where people treated me like I was a god. And I'll share with you when it happened. One of the few times that I can recall for sure. I was on the set of a movie called Dominic and Eugene with actor Tom Hulse. And I think Jamie Lee Curtis was in it. A few other people. And Mike Farrell from MASH fame, the series on TV. He was one of the producers. And at any rate, what happened was I had been in a regular, quote-unquote, extra. Then I was upgraded to what they called a day player or a day actor or a Taft-Hartley or what have you. And literally as an extra, you know, you get a little bit of food here and there. And you aren't treated necessarily without respect, but an extra is essentially a human piece of meat or a human prop. Well, what happened was the minute that I became, quote unquote, an actor, even for a day, It's like I was treated like a king. I mean, literally, had gone from being able to eat a couple of candy bars at the snack table to eating with the stars, not far from the the movie stars. Some were TV stars and movie stars, literally with the crew. And the food that I was able to eat and have access to, it was outrageously exciting. I mean, it was lobster. It was, what's it called, filet mignon, or I mean, they had like 15 different other types of pies and all this food, and they had not roast beef, but I forget what they call it. They had a roast and a few other things, and we're talking about this happened about, I guess it was like 2:33 in the morning. We ate what we called dinner at 3 in the morning. Yeah, all this heavy food at 3 in the morning. But see, when I became an actor for that day, I was treated like a king. I was treated like God. If I wanted a hamburger at 5 a.m., I wouldn't have gotten it. But the people who were still extras, people I had worked with, people that I had befriended, they were still treated, like I said, humanely, but not right. I had a friend named Art. He wanted to grab an apple. He was talking to me. This is when I had gotten promoted. He grabbed one of the apples at our table. And he got chewed out because they said, that's not for extras, and yada, yada, yada. And somebody came over and it was pretty nasty. And I'm not going to lie to you. That was my first ever film. And me being who I am, the spirit that I always have been, I spoke up for him. I said, wait a minute, why are you yelling at him over an apple? They said, he's not allowed to touch this stuff. It's only for the actors and the crew. I said, well, I'm touching it. They said, you're an actor now. Or something to that effect. And I was like, I was astounded and I was appalled. I said, well, if he can't have it, I don't want it. And because I spoke up, once again, treated like a god, all of a sudden, he could have whatever he wanted. He was allowed to sit with us for a while. So, I'm not excusing anything Donald Trump does. And right now, he's being evil. He is evil, his actions. The Trump supporters can like it or hate it. He is evil in his actions. Now, is Hillary ever evil? Yeah. She's not perfect. She's the only one we can vote for to save our planet, but she's not perfect. But with defending Trump, with one context, one caveat, I know how our minds as human beings can be corrupted. Because you have to understand, when you are in that financial or fame position, you are treated like a god. Frankly, you're treated like God. Not like a, but actually like you are God. You're not God, but you are treated like God. And that's not a good thing. Because it wouldn't be so bad if we were treated like God, but we were a compassionate, loving God. Too many of us on earth take that power and get corrupted absolutely, and essentially use others. So, what am I saying? I'm saying that we can't afford Trump, but I can't hate the man. I hate his actions. But all of our spirits, believe it or not, all of our spirits, every one of us, has good in us. And it's my belief that when we go to the other side, I don't think we ever stay, from what I can remember, we don't ever stay permanently in damnation. We just don't. Now, when I say permanently, keep in mind, some of us, like Adolf Hitler or someone like that, his spirit may be wherever he is for 1 million or even 1 billion years. But keep in mind, when you are on the other side, time doesn't act like it does for us. So 1 billion years could be like 1,000 for us. But I don't believe there's any true evil human or human-centered spirits. They've done evil actions. There's multiple serial killers and stuff, but our spirits would not be able to be purely evil. And even I think people that sell their soul to the devil eventually end up back with God, simply because you have to understand. Let me put it in a different context. If I have a piece of equipment that belongs to, let's say a car, let's say a Cutlass Supreme, it's always going to fit. It's always going to be able to be in a different Cutlass Supreme. Well, our spirits are kind of like that Cutlass Supreme. We can do a lot of dumb stuff. We can change up and do all kinds of stuff. But we're always going to be a creation of a higher power. Now, it seemed like I was kidding when I said I'm one of the oldest souls in the universe. Even Annette doesn't buy it. She says, he's only 52. Well, the truth is, in this lifetime, I am 52. But in reality, I'm way older than that, and so are you. Not that I want to be old. But you know, I personally love Jesus Christ. I love Father God. So, if even one thing that I say in any context, whether you take it as a joke or you take it seriously, if it gives you a better perspective on who you really are, it gets you to do things in a more positive way, then I've done my job. And let me just say this to the hopeless people out there. You got to get your hope back. You got to keep trying, no matter how hard it is. You know, you might be 85 years old and you've been trying since you were 5 years old to get somewhere and you haven't gotten there. You got to start trying again. I know what you're thinking. I'm older now. I'm in a nursing home. I'm in bad shape. Your body and even your mind can be. But if you can hear me, or your family can, there's hope for you. Your spirit can change everything. It can even heal you. It can. Scientists and science can't explain it, but it can be done. I believe in you. And I simply will tell you this. I have 5 businesses that I'm involved with. 5 businesses, tools, whatever you want to call it. I welcome 16-year-olds with permission, legal permission. I welcome 18-year-olds. I welcome 40-year-olds. I welcome people up to 185 if such a person existed. I don't discriminate. And I believe in you. And guess what? If you can connect with your spirit again, your internal spirit, you're going to have unlimited success. You're going to have unlimited abundance. And for those of you who don't believe God exists, I'm going to tell you the truth. You do believe God exists. All of you do. Scientists too. But you're not allowing your mind Your body and your soul connect. If you take your spirit, you will know, not even question, there's a higher power. And I have an answer for you. Why are all these terrible things happening? Well, these tragedies, these terrorists and all this stuff, it's a way for us to understand how great paradise truly is. How great our families that's gone through this terrible stuff, or friends, that they're in a truly better plane of existence. And I know that sounds like a cop-out, and I know that it doesn't excuse when babies get murdered or any of that stuff. There's a reason for it. I don't agree with everything, I'm not happy about it. But there is a reason. I don't want you giving up on faith or spiritualism, I guess is the word. I don't want you losing hope. I can't afford for you to lose hope. You mean too much to me. Me, the human being, Albert Torcaso, and me, the spirit. So when I tell you I'm one of the oldest souls in the planet, or on the planet, a lot of you are almost as old as me, but I'm one of the oldest. That's not delusion. That's not joking. That's for real. I'll share this with you. About 1982, I think it was, I was regressed by a famed hypnotist. And I'd never been into the medieval sword fighting and all that stuff really that much, or medieval or whatever it's called, knights in shining armors type of thing. That wasn't really my gig. But I was regressed, and I found out I was a man named Sir Jonathan Gillian. And I guess it was like the 1500, I don't remember what years it was. But I ended up in battle somewhere in Europe. I think it might have been Scotland, one of these places. At any rate, my name was Sir Jonathan Gillian, and my right arm here, right about here, was chopped off in battle. And I actually died 3 days later as Sir Jonathan Gillian from a mortal wound. Well, you might say, well, okay, another made up stuff. No, it's not made up. But what's very interesting is that not only of our spirits know our history of all the souls that, not souls, but people we cannot necessarily remember it even with hypnosis. But our spirit knows. Well, what I find very interesting about this is this. This arm right here, attached to me is an Albert Torcaso, 52-year-old man. For no logical reason. A lot of times it will just hurt. It will hurt right here, and it stops right where it was chopped off as Sir Jonathan. And that's a legitimate thing. I even go to a chiropractor named Plaucha in my home city. He'd even tell you my arm has issues. No apparent reason. What's the point of this? We really are spirits. We are children of the universe, and God made the universe, even though the scientists can't handle that. Not all scientists, but a lot. You, on the other hand, here's what I want you to do. Right now, as a matter of fact, I want you to recommit to yourself and demand that you live a better, healthier, happier, spiritual life. To the strongest atheist out there, become more spiritual. I'm not speaking about a Godhead necessarily, but you do love God. You just haven't allowed yourself to admit it. Now, the thing about it is this. Even if you never think you love God or that you're aware that there is a God, your spirit knows. So if you tune in, work real hard, it's going to happen. But what's the end game when you get there? You're going to find some of the greatest successes in your life in every aspect of your life. A person who's been trying to lose weight, who's been morbidly obese and tried the doctors and the medicines and the diets and the lifestyle changes and everything, and nothing ever worked. When you get in touch with your internal spirit, you can call upon God and you can use the God power that's in you. And even though everything you tried for years, even maybe an operation that didn't end up working out, you tune into the spiritual side inside you, you'll lose that weight. It's like magic, but you'll lose that weight. Those of you who've been waiting for success, waiting to get out of a bad marriage or abusive or whatever, turn to your spirit. And of course, turn to God, whichever faith you have. And you will, absolutely, you will succeed. You know, I don't know what I'm going to call this title. It's probably going to take half tonight to actually turn into an MPEG, which is the file format I need to use to upload it. And I think, since it is very existential, spiritual, and, kind of abstract, I guess is the word, I think I'm going to call it the inner you. For those of you who don't believe that I'm one of the oldest souls in the universe, well, you don't have to. You're not exactly young either. You're not a young soul. But let me ask an atheist, an agnostic, a Jew, a Christian, a Buddhist, a Hindu, a Sikh, a Muslim, every single religion. If you passed away in the next second, where do you want your eternal spirit to be? Me? I want to be with God, or at least go up there for a while until I'm once again reincarnated. Me? I always am going to choose God, no matter what. And for me, yeah, Jesus Christ. Always going to choose Jesus. Hands down. Now, I believe Jesus has been here many times, and every religion on earth was actually Jesus by another name at another time, and maybe even at the same time, because God doesn't play. But let me give you a note to the terrorists of this planet. ISIS, Al Qaeda, and every terrorist on earth. All of you should be ashamed of yourself, because you also have good in you somewhere deep inside. God doesn't want you killing people because of the way they worship or don't. Turn away from that. Don't make us take you all out, but we will if we have to. You will not win. You will never win. But for all 7 billion plus lives on earth, return to your spiritual inner self, and you're going to be all right. You're going to be more than all right. I hope all of you understand that if you don't comprehend what I'm saying, if you think I'm rambling, watch it a few more times. You'll figure it out. If you really work hard, You'll get me. You have an inner spirit. And nothing on earth can stop you when you utilize it for your abundance. I love all of you in a very spiritual way. And by the way, you really do matter.